Hey guys, so today's video is going to be about using half-angle identities to evaluate expressions. These formulas are preferred by a lot of students over the sum and difference formulas, and I agree, when you can use these, you definitely should. You can see that the formula is a lot quicker than using the complicated sum and difference. Just one thing I want to note about these is that these, you see how they say plus or minus? It's not actually going to be plus or minus. The sign you use, it determines, sign is dependent upon, I should say, what quadrant you're in. So that means you have to know in what quadrant is sine and cosine positive. So quadrant, that means, like, if we're in quadrant 2, we know that sine is positive but cosine is not. So so if it was cosine of something that was in quadrant 2, we would just take out the positive and it would just be negative. If it was sine of something in the quadrant 2, we would just use the positive answer. So that's like just something that I always got confused with, because the formula says plus or minus, but the answer is always just 1. Okay, so let's just do an example. They're the easiest way to practice. We're going to take sine of 15. First thing I notice is, well, 15 is not on my unit circle, but 30 is, so I can rewrite this as sine of 30 divided by 2. Then that equals, it's going to be plus or minus square root of 1 minus the cosine of our x, which in this case, it's always the top number, which is 30, divided by 2. Alright, let's simplify this a little bit. We're going to get plus or minus square root of 1 minus, well, cosine of 30, that's going to give us root 3 over 2, all over 2. And now at this point, this answer is correct, but a lot of teachers are going to want you to simplify. So the way I would do that here is I would multiply both the top and the bottom by 2. So multiplying that by all by 2, we get, in the top, it's going to be the square root. I'm going to individually take numerator and denominator square root. We're going to get 2 minus just the square root of 3 will be left, because we did 2 and then it's divided by 2. Those will cancel. So 2 minus the square root of 3 all over 2 times 2 is 4, be the square root of 4, which we know is just 2. So we're going to be left with, finally, our answer of 2 minus square root of 3 divided by 2. And that's about as simple as I would want to get it, and I think that would be fine for teachers as well. Okay. So when we do cosine, it's a really similar process. So let's do something a bit different and use our tangent. Let's do tangent of 22.5. And then I instantly think, okay, well, I know that that's going to be half of some angle. They wouldn't randomly ask me that. So then I think, okay, well, 22 times 5 times 2, that's going to give me 45. So then I can think, okay, this is 45. Tangent 45 divided by 2. And that equals, let's check our formula. We can pick one or the other. Honestly, I don't think it really matters. I like to keep things positive, though, so I'm going to choose sine x over 1 plus cosine x. Sine x over 1 plus cosine x. Oh, and quickly for this one, I never clarified, but because it's sine 15, like we were talking about earlier, I just didn't put a sign here, so it's implied that it's positive. But just make sure that we don't put plus or minus. It's only the positive form. Just so you know. Okay, so back to the tangent one. We've got sine of x over 1 plus cosine x, and remember the x is the numerator here. So that equals sine of 45 divided by 1 plus cosine of 45. Okay, sine of 45, let's just solve these out. We're going to get root 2 over 2 divided by 1 plus root 2 over 2. Okay, and I think that's all you would have to do here. I guess you could simplify. You can multiply the top and the bottom by 2 again. And that'll give us, on the bottom, let's see what we'll have. We'll have 2 plus square root of 2. And then on the top, we'll be left with root 2. Then to simplify it further, we could do this whole thing where we multiply by 2 minus square root of 2. I don't think we need to do that, though. This is what your answer would be. I think that's fine. So yeah, let's just leave it like this for now. And remember, with tangent, it'd be tangent of 22.5, so it's going to be positive in this case. Alright, so I hope this video was able to help. I hope you enjoy working with these. These are a lot better than sum and difference formulas, so I definitely recommend them. If you have to memorize them, just think that the sine and the cosine are very similar. Just know that the cosine is the plus and sine is minus, and tangent, you can use either one. They're going to give you the same answer every time. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope this was able to help.